Hey, what's up? It's Coach Out of 4 here. So today I'm going to be talking about when to use Acog. Acog is widely considered to be one of the best and most powerful sites in Rainbow Six Siege, and a lot of controversies surround it. Who gets Acog, who doesn't get Acog, and a lot of times when Ubisoft thinks an operator is too powerful, they take away their Acog to balance them. Now personally, I don't think Acog is as powerful or useful as people say it is, and a lot of players, especially newer players, will only use Acog because everyone tells them it's the best sight in the game. If it's available on a gun, you must use it because it gives you the greatest advantage. But I don't think Acog is applicable in all situations. I think there's a time and a place to use it, and there's a time and a place to use a holo or a reflex sight. So today I'm going to be talking about and showing you guys when I think you should be using Acog and when I think you should be using a different sight. So now I'm going to talk about the disadvantages and advantages of Acog. So if you're clearing out a room with Acog, it's going to be really easy to clear out the long angles, but at close angles it's going to be really difficult because it's going to zoom in too much. If you use a non-zoom sight, it's going to be a lot easier to clear those close angles and to get a kill. Clearing close angles with an Acog, especially when there's a lot to clear, can be really difficult, and it just feels so much better when you have a reflex or a holo. However, like I said, it's going to be a lot easier to clear rooms with a lot of depth to them with an Acog than with a non-zoom sight. If you know that you're going to be playing on a map that's very close range and a lot of close-knit corridors are on the map, then don't play with Acog. Use your reflex or your holo sight because it's going to make it a lot easier on you. So next I'm going to talk about the disadvantage you have at close range gunfights. A lot of advanced players incorporate a ton of movement into their gunplay, which makes them so much harder to hit. If you're using the Acog, it's going to zoom in a ton, it's going to make it really hard to react to that movement and get a headshot or get the kill. However, if you're using, a reflex or holo, it's going to be a lot easier to move around and track the movements to make sure that you're going to secure that kill. On certain maps and at certain spots on certain maps, enemies have the ability to hold angles that are so far away that they're practically invisible if you have a holo or a reflex sight, and the only way to see them is with an Acog. So if you're going to be playing on one of these maps, or if you know that you're going to be hanging out in this area or supporting your teammates by holding those long lines of sight, make sure that you bring an Acog along because a reflex or holo is just not going to cut it. Now if you're going to be holding outside for most of the round, make sure you bring an Acog. But if you're going to be moving inside the building, it's always a better idea to bring a non-zoom sight. If you're playing a map such as Bank and you know there's a good chance they're going to be going Garage and you're going to be playing outside of Garage, then you should bring along Acog. However, if you're playing something a little bit closer, like let's say Chalet, and you know that you're going to be going inside, make sure you bring a reflex or holo. Now finally, if you're playing a defender that has an option to use an Acog, I would recommend in almost all circumstances to equip the Acog, because you're going to be able to hold these really long angles that are going to be pain for attackers to try to force you off of, and it's going to give you such a large advantage. So whenever you're on defense, make sure you grab that Acog and just play from long distances because it's going to allow you to get a lot more kills. So those are most of the situations that you're going to be encountering and thinking about when deciding whether or not you want to equip Acog. One of the things you should also take into consideration is your own personal playstyle. If you are a very aggressive player and like to get up close and personal, Acog may not be the best choice for you. If you don't feel comfortable with the extra zoom, then I would go with holo or reflex because it really comes down to what you're most comfortable with. You're always going to perform better with what feels better. If you don't like the feeling of the Acog because of that zoom, and some people don't, that's fine. Use the sight that doesn't have a zoom on it. You're going to play a lot better with it. Don't go Acog just because someone tells you it's the best sight in the game, or that you're not a good player if you don't use the Acog. Whenever you're questioning whether or not you should be using Acog, just analyze the situation and make a determination based off of that. To quickly recap, I'm going to go over everything you should be thinking about when deciding whether or not you want to use Acog. First, consider whether you're an aggressive player that likes to get up close and personal, or if you're a passive player that likes to hold for your teammates from farther back. Second, always take into account the map and the site that you're going to be playing on. If you know you're going to be playing a map such as Bank or Consulate that has long lines of sight and is very open, you should bring Acog. If you're going to be playing a map like Villa or Chalet that's a little bit closer, you might not want to bring Acog. You should also be taking into account which site you're most likely going to be attacking. If you know that they're probably going to be going garage on a map, then you're best off taking Acog because you're going to be playing outside a lot. Whenever you think they're going to be playing a site that you're going to be attacking from a distance or outside, make sure you bring Acog instead of a non-zoom site. Lastly, you should always bring Acog on defense except for in very specific circumstances. Playing Acog on defense will allow you to hold much longer angles, which will be very beneficial. So that is everything that you need to be taken into account. Hopefully this helped you out and it gave you some good tips and pointers on when you should be using the Acog site and when you shouldn't. I know it can be very confusing and you're probably going to be going back and forth a lot, but if you follow these suggestions and methods, I guarantee you that it's going to really help you out and allow you to make a much better decision. So that's pretty much it for the video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it and I really hope it helped you out. If you liked the video, please leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe. I would really appreciate it and would really help me out. Good luck in your games and I will see y'all next time.